Lutherans told to sort out internal disagreements over shipping service. New energy options for Papua New Guinea.
Spin-offs and the benefits from that alone are massive.
And Vice Minister for Education blames slow payments on corruption.
This is National EMTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
A very good evening to you and welcome to Sunday's news. Thanks again for your company. The Prime Minister has expressed disappointment in delays in getting a new shipping service started for Morobe Province. He says while the government has allocated 10 million kina to revive the shipping service, the money won't be released until internal disagreements within the Lutheran Church are resolved.
When the church-owned Lutheran shipping sank into a sea of debt and mismanagement, districts within the Morobe Province stepped in to rescue the shipping service. Nauai, Finchafen, Huon and Siasi were among those districts that put in funds to start the Morobe shipping service. The national government also made a commitment of 10 million kina. But today, the Prime Minister said the money won't be released until the Lutheran Church ends its internal disagreements and focuses on service delivery.
Government has already made a commitment of 10 million kina. We are not going to pay anybody until such time when the issues are resolved and there's a proper management in place and proper directors are in place. This is a time when we are supposed to be saving our people.
Luship underwent voluntary liquidation earlier this year. The move came as a surprise to the largely uninformed rural population who have since been the hardest hit. The liquidation has driven up food and fuel costs not only in Morobe but in the border province of Vanimo as well. Tewai Siasi MP Mao Zeming says in the new year those difficulties will be eased.
So Tewai Siasi we buy one block ship 8.1 million. I mean one block 45-meter butts. Now I can carry 50 passengers. Now CB only constructing lot 2013 come now finished. CB stop long Indonesia lo come so.
But as the districts move towards finding solutions, the church is still in disarray with many of its members still in disagreement over the liquidation. Scott Waide, National EMTV News.
The Prime Minister has brushed aside concerns surrounding arrangements where 50 asylum seekers will be granted employment and other opportunities in Papua New Guinea. He said PNG has international obligations to fulfill and must not shy away from them.
In recent months, there has been growing dissatisfaction about the government's decision to settle the asylum seekers in PNG and give them work and business opportunities. Many people have expressed concerns in mainstream and social media, saying this will take up jobs meant for Papua New Guineans. But Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says as part of global community, helping each other is necessary. The Prime Minister says their expertise can be an advantage for PNG.
We are only accepting genuine asylum seekers, families and professional people who are going to help develop our country. Not people who have got really serious law and order issues or backgrounds that are not conducive to our people and people who have violent background. We are putting them on the plane back to their countries. So I can assure our people that their safety and their concerns are our #1 priority. But we as members of the international community, and possibly mas lugar timol narapalaman,
Early last week, Foreign Affairs and Immigration Minister Rimbing Pato announced that 50 genuine asylum seekers will settle in PNG. Following this announcement, Australia's Immigration and Border Protection Minister Scott Morrison visited Manus Province and opened the East Lorengau Transit Facility, where asylum seekers will settle in for at least 3 months. Meanwhile, concerns have been raised on whether the West Papuans are also included in this arrangement.
Yumi saveo sem olano manus sem all kamanit lo arrangement one them Australia where all column RRA regional resettlement arrangement. Now this arrangement including all West Papuans.
The government says it's now working on a refugee policy that is expected to benefit the West Papuans. However, PNG Immigration says those asylum seekers in Manus will remain until their visas are granted. Quintan Alomp, National EMTV News.
Morobe's focus on fisheries will be given a boost once the national government releases funding of 500 million kina for a wharf specifically for fisheries activities. The wharf at Wagang on the outskirts of Lae will cater to the growing fisheries industry. Fisheries Minister Mao Zemming says over the next 10 years, Morobe's provincial budget is also expected to double.
Morobe's fishing industry is growing. According to the Fisheries Minister, this is just part of a 3.5% in the overall industry growth throughout the country. In 2015, an additional 30 million kina will be injected into the Morobe economy to build a new wharf dedicated to fisheries alone.
The government put him 10 million finish long 2015 budget. National Fisheries Board he give him 20 million long 2015 budget. So we have 30 million already to start this plus. So.
In the last 24 months, Morobe province has become the center of the government's economic drive. The Lake Tidal Basin, opened last week, now sets the pace for that new growth. Maritime traffic is expected to increase and provincial coffers expected to grow.
Fish must go Hariablo factory. No can start long time no ship na bagarap. Now 2 more investors come inside long. Work factory inside long country. Now all investor. Importantly we must come over the bridge blolet.
What's lingering is landowner participation. While there has been some progress, many still feel left out by the developments. Scott Waide, National EMTV News.
The Vice Minister for Education speaks out on teachers' leave entitlements. I'll bring you that story and more coming up next. Stay with us. Good to have you back with the news. Member for Nawaib and Vice Minister of Education Giswat Sinuin has come out in defense of teachers claiming misuse on the part of officers within the Education Department, which has resulted in leave and entitlement delays. These statements come amidst recent outbursts by teachers throughout the country over unpaid dues, with the minister going so far as to state that corruption could not be put out of the question.
This is the business of teachers not getting their fees. Getting the AFS and long. Problem is accommodate so many years.
You think some of the land will still
it's a common sense. If it goes to the division, or if they are not accountable, the provincial education advisors and those who are looking after teachers' welfare, then I think there's some mismanagement. Especially in other provinces, a lot of money is going out to wantoks or misusing.
The national government is focusing on the use of biodiesel as the next renewable energy source for Papua New Guinea. This project is part of the government's plan under the National Responsible Development Program in creating a platform for sustainability and energy security.
Biodiesel products have been produced on a smaller scale in the country, and with high fuel prices worrying all sectors in the country, the government is now shifting development ideas from non-renewable energy to renewable energy source. The piloting of the coconut biodiesel project in Madang is a development revolution for the country to showcase PNG's capability to produce and distribute the use of renewable fuel source.
We're doing about 600,000 litres of biodiesel a year now. We aim by the end of 2015 to increase that to 2.5 million litres.
The presentation of the 2.3 million kina to the Madang provincial government is for the purchase of a prototype vessel or the sea truck for the pilot project, a specific built vessel for PNG which will be for trade between Karkor Island and other outer islands in Madang. But a more settling answer to the biodiesel concept is to help minimize Madang's power problems.
Biodiesel is producing the quality and the quantity that the company wants. Obviously, I cannot see a reason why we should use the local produced fuel. Problems we face with gensets, unlike the biodiesel, the performance of the engines are very, very good.
Planning Minister Charles Abel says the project will link copra prices to fuel prices.
The most important way to perhaps understand this program is our attempt to raise what we pay for copra on the one hand and decrease what we pay for fuel on the other. The spin-offs and the benefits from that alone are massive.
The project will involve the Department of Planning, Madang Provincial Government, PNG Biofuels, PNG Power, Coconut Industry Corporation, and the Department of Agriculture and Livestock. Jake Lepave Jr., National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, Madang MP and Petroleum and Energy Minister Nixon Duban has welcomed the biodiesel project but expressed disappointment over the ownership of coconut plantations in Madang. Duban says if ordinary people are to equally participate, the plantations must be given back to them.
People must be part of the revolution. Our people must be given opportunity to have plantations. Our people must be given opportunity to participate from those hybrid coconut that can be utilized for biofuel purpose. So we have to get a strategy that, if it's a sustainable strategy, it must be integrated to allow local participation.
Overseas now to Japan, and visitors have been flocking in to see a set of twin giant panda cubs at a zoo in Wakayama Prefecture in mid-western Japan. Staff at Adventure Park in Shirahima Town brought the female cubs to an indoor playground packed with about 300 visitors on Friday. The babies weigh around 500 grams each, almost 3 times as much as they were when they were born on December 2nd. Their mother has been breastfeeding them. A married couple who are expecting a child said the cute panda cubs gave them courage to take on parenthood. Zoo staff plan to start soliciting names for the cubs. And that's a take on our news segment. True Crime Sports coming up next. You can stay tuned for that.
True Crime Sports.
Welcome to True Crime Sports. With the year now drawing to a close, the future is looking bright for PNG's national cricket team, the Barramundis. They are rising fast through the international cricket rankings. EMTV's Jeremy Moggy takes a closer look at their performances throughout this year.
The first major event that happened wasn't the most perfect start, with national head coach Peter Anderson resigning from his role following the World Cup qualifiers tournament in New Zealand. In his place came former New Zealand international Deepak Patel, who then set about focusing on getting the team prepared for international tours. The PNG Barramundis finished their first international tour on a high after they recorded their 3rd victory on the trot in the last match against the Sri Lankan select side. The 53-run victory once again was set up by the batsmen, with Tony Ura at the forefront to help PNG amass a whopping 6 for 221 off their 20 overs. At home, the PMMI Legends Big Bash was hosted in August and attracted the likes of Asanka Gurusingha, Arjuna Ranatunga, Ka Ackerman and Andy Bickle. Having managed only 3 wins from 9 matches across all formats of international cricket, the Barramundis headed into the Saka Premier League, with head coach Deepak Patel remaining positive. In November, the Hebu Barramundis faced arch rivals Hong Kong, who were ranked 1 spot higher in the global rankings in 15th place. Having announced their inaugural full-time professional player contracts for a 16-strong men's squad the month before, the Digital ODI series in Townsville was another key milestone for the emerging cricket nation. The Barramundis then retained their title of champions of the Saka Premier League T20 competition, with their final match coming down to the last over. And finally, Cricket Australia is keen to organise a match against PNG, who were recently awarded one-day international status. Jeremy Moggy, National EMTV Sports.
The ATS community has begun celebrating Christmas by taking to the volleyball courts. The community aims to form a strong association in the future, and it's also following the path set by Vava and Fairfax, and they also hope to win national titles.
The interest of volleyball is high in this area and so far has gained keen followers since the inception of the competition last year. They have the aim to form an association like the Vabu Korea Amateur Volleyball or Vava, Fairfax in Port Moresby, and fully participate in any PNG Volleyball Federation sanctioned tournaments.
Playing for a very long time, and it's just a plan, but we don't have an association formed and registered. And this is our hard cry for the youth in 8 years to really want us to really form and register an association.
The tournament was supported by the community and funded by the Moresby Northeast electorate. Member for Moresby Northeast and Vice Sports Minister Labia Mayu set aside a portion from the money given by the government to fund the games. The program is aimed at keeping the youth and the community away from illicit activities and provide an opportunity to display their sporting talent.
Their mind is focused on what they have to do, and then it does not distract them to take their mind away to cause troubles and all this. Everybody can concentrate on the games and all this. That's the only incident that the Vice Minister wanted. He wants the youth to be intake in their settlements. And also, like, there are a lot of potential young men. Like the PNG games are already gone bad, but they've missed out because, they did not have that, opportunity to express.
It is part of the Mosby Northeast Electorate 5-year development plan to engage and involve youth in something worthy, let alone the 5 wards currently participating in the Christmas games. Other sporting codes including touch rugby, soccer, basketball are played leading up to the new year. Tere Alex, National EMTV Sports.
And that report concludes True Kai Sports tonight. I'll bring you all the latest weather details after these short messages. Stay tuned.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
This weather information is brought to you by Tablebirds.
A quick look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in southern region, the nation's capital along with Karama, to look forward to cloudy weather and some showers. In Momase, Ley City and Madang, afternoon thunderstorms. In the New Guinea Islands, morning rain expected in Loringa and Rabaul. And lastly, in the Highlands region, all centres rain and thunderstorms. Well, that's it from the news team. I'm Tokana Hasavi. Thanks again for your company. You take care and stay safe. Good night.